Sasha Martinengo.
Storming down the pit lane.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time on balls.co.za.
Guest in here today. He races in the Bridgestone production car Class T category at present, but we're going to find out a little bit more about him as well. Gennaro, you come from a very illustrious name in South Africa motorsport. Tell us a little bit about that.
No, well, obviously my grandfather was the one who started us all in the Western Province, and he was national champion in rallying as well, I think, or provincial champion there.
Yes.
And obviously my dad started rallying with Serge Damso back in the days, I mean, like 1970s back in the days.
Yeah.
And he was 10 times South African champion in rallying, national champion, and been rallying for 30 years, and obviously, you know, next in line was me.
Does he miss it, your dad?
I think he does. I think being part of my whole setup actually helps him.
Yeah.
Because then he has an avenue to go to. But I think for sure it's the adrenaline. You know, once it's in your system,
It's there forever.
It's there forever.
I just want to stick a little bit on your dad. Gennaro Bonafede was the co-driver and navigator for Serge Damso. For those who may be not aware, most probably the most successful team in South African rally over all of the years. However, he was always a navigator. Is he not a frustrated driver?
No, I think, he's actually quite crazy as a driver, I must be honest.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, there's not many people that get me scared on the road, but if I go with my dad, he's not one to sit and be patient, you know, which is quite cool, I guess. But I think being a navigator is more than what people think it is.
No,
everyone thinks,
sure.
he's just there too. But trust me, it's a lot of hard work, and without them, the driver has nowhere to go.
Of
You know
course.
what I mean? So,
Of course. And we've seen some of them get it all very wrong.
very wrong.
Has there been a pressure on you because of the name that you have?
I don't think so. I think maybe in the beginning when I started, obviously in go-karts and whatever, and then I moved into main track. I think maybe then I was kind of known as Vito's son, you know, instead of Gennaro. And I think now I'm starting to, I'm trying and get rid of Vito's son, you know, and become myself.
Don't worry, I'm Serge's son as well, so you know what I mean, and I'm a lot older than you, so
exactly.
it stays with you, and be proud of it.
Sure.
No, that's amazing. Gennaro, so you say you're from the Western Cape originally?
Well, yeah, my family, my dad was born there.
Okay.
But we obviously then moved up to Joburg, met my mom, and I was born here in Joburg.
All right. So schooled all here in Johannesburg?
schooled
Where
in
did you go to
Johannesburg.
school?
Well, in Dainfern College. I got matriculated at Dainfern College.
Nice.
Yeah, so then obviously now living part-time Pretoria, studying at Tucky's.
Well, this is it. I mean, besides being an incredibly fast racing driver, you also just about finished, is it industrial engineering?
Yeah, industrial engineering at University of Pretoria. So
What is
it's not
industrial engineering?
It's all to do with systems and processes. So like, it's quite a versatile degree, which is quite nice. I can go into a bank and work out, and it's all about flows.
You don't
and
want to go
stuff.
work in a bank?
No, I don't.
No.
But you know,
They'll just give you
it's
an
an
option.
option, you know.
Just you don't want to go work in a
Okay,
bank.
all right, sure,
No,
I'll
there we
take
go.
that.
We will edit that part out of
My
this.
bad.
No, we won't. Anyway, so you're studying industrial engineering. So how? I mean, that must really interfere with racing.
No, for sure. It's tough. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, my matric results were good, so I had an option. You know, and I always knew that racing's going well, but you can never really like bank on anything like that. You know, so I knew I needed a backup, and I enjoyed engineering. It was something that really
Terrific.
So now, but had I known what it was in for, I might have changed.
You know, there's a classic saying in the world, just to let you know, if you want to make a small fortune out of motor racing, start with a big one.
Exactly.
And we all know that. Okay, so you're racing at the moment. We'll get into what you're doing at present. But I mean, you've started very, very young. I mean, it all comes through the family bloodline, presumably in go-karts.
No, for sure. I mean, obviously 5 years old, my dad said, listen, let's go have a jawl, go for a go-kart. Obviously I was always the one running around the service parks and the rallying, tripping over tools and injuring myself, so it was always in my blood, and the passion was there. So then I think at the age of 5 got into a go-kart with Tasman Pepper, actually. Her and I were the first two there, and then ever since then, it's been an actual tour.
But you've raced here and you've raced internationally. You've raced all over Europe. And now, of course, you're back here as well. The one thing that you've got to know about Gennaro, as opposed to most other racing drivers, is he's extraordinarily tall. How tall are you? 6'4"?
6'5", yeah.
6'5",
almost 2 meters, just under 2 meters.
For a racing driver,
Yeah,
regardless in what category, I mean, whether it's go-karts or whether it's single seaters or even in tin tops, you're incredibly tall. I mean, it must get more uncomfortable for you than for many others.
Yeah, I think, and that's the main reason why at the age of 15, 16 I moved into the Polo Cup, because I literally was too tall for a go-kart. I mean, everything was fine, but you start you start getting there and everything starts, the setup starts going the wrong way because of your weight distribution, and obviously aerodynamics plays a big part.
Yes.
So, but you know, you got to deal with it, you got to work with it, and
Yeah.
make the best with what you got.
It's not the easiest thing. All right, my in-studio guest is Gennaro Bonafede. We got lots to talk about. We want to go back to his school, how he got through school, while he also was racing, girls, nightlife, passion, dedication, etc., etc. So stick around. It is this one.
Who the is?
His name is Gennaro Bonafede. You can check him out on our live streaming at the moment, our video streaming at the moment, wearing his racing shirt there, which is very nice. VW Ferodo Racing, which is very cool. But Ferodo, I mean, I just want to talk about your sponsors, Ferodo. They must love you.
Why do you say that?
Because you never use their brakes. You just go balls to the wall there, Gennaro.
No, I use them when I need to. You know what I mean? You know, you got.
And when when you do use them, they work well.
For sure.
Which
That's
is
for
really,
sure.
really cool. So it's very, very
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, I just want to go back a little bit. So you went to school, you did very, very well at school, very clever. So you said.
Well,
And the thing is, I mean, so you grew up with karts or whatever, your father's is a racing legend in rally. And rally didn't appeal to you.
well, it always did. I must be honest. Rally
Yeah.
always did, but I think you got to look at from go karts is quite expensive, but the step up then is obviously more expensive to open wheels and whatever.
Sure.
Or tin tops, but rallying is on another level. I mean, rallying is a serious amount
Serious
of money.
cash.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. So I think unless you have a real factory drive or a really good sponsor that knows the depth of rallying.
Ferodo. Hello.
Well,
Hello,
you know.
Ferodo.
Federal mogul, you know. No, so I think that's the thing. I've always been interested in rallying. I think the further my career goes on, I think it'll maybe appeal more.
Yeah.
I mean, look at some of the track stars, Leroy Poulter, Mark Crinier. They've gone to rallying now, and it's there.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
So it's not like a fact of once you're on tar, you're only on tar.
No, exactly. And also, you're still very young.
Yeah, I'm
I
still
mean,
21. So
yeah, so I
think
mean,
I've
you got a
Let's
long,
hope.
long.
Let's-
No, you got
let's
plenty years of racing to do. So when you were at school, you had your sort of time was taken up over weekends. I assume sometimes go to the track and racing karts,
Yeah.
etc., etc. But you also excelled at all the other sports as well. So I mean, you quite the athlete.
I must admit, sports has really been part of my life. I don't know, it was hard to balance it because obviously I had cricket and then I had my athletics and I had hockey and rugby at school, all first teams and with the racing, and so it was very tough. I must be honest, but at the end of the day, racing was my passion. So
Well, I mean, because you mentioned cricket because you also did exceptionally well in cricket, and I mean, didn't you play county overseas?
I played county in the UK and also Gauteng in the 15s here in South Africa.
So I mean, it's quite a
yeah.
quite a decision to make to sit there and go, well, and
Yeah,
then you go
I
and play
think-
cricket and
yeah.
be a tonsil, or go racing and
and look cool.
and be cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
cricketers don't look cool with their sunglasses
No, I
on,
must be honest. That
but
maybe-
racing drivers do.
Well,
You've ever noticed?
Sometimes.
No, racing drivers do. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
racing
do.
drivers with sunglasses on look
Yeah,
much
the
better
rock
than a
star
cricket
lifestyle, eh?
cricket players with
Yeah.
sunglasses on. It just doesn't work for me anyway.
sure.
Anyway, I like the cricketers as well. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool. So you decided you finished playing county. While you were over there doing cricket, did you also do racing?
No, for sure. Obviously, we went when I was 10 years old. My father took us, the family, overseas to the UK for business. He went for business. And obviously, that was the experience of a lifetime. We lived there for 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. And we raced karts over there. And there was my dad and I rocking up with a little trailer and his car and then the cart in the back of the trailer. And you go to these national events where
Yeah.
there's guys in motorhomes with 5 different engines just for a race weekend. And I raced against Sam Bird over there in
Yeah.
one of the nationals, the guy who was at the Top Gear Festival.
Yeah.
Obviously, he
Short guy.
was, yeah, he's quite tall, but he's short, and he obviously was very good over then. And we went and we enjoyed it. My dad obviously, has done the world for me
Sure.
since I was a lighty, and obviously we went as far as we could. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm always appreciative of that because I think without him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
No, of course. I mean,
So-
you did need that help as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, you also now a very accomplished. You went to VW Polos.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through this because go karts.
cool.
You got too tall.
Yeah, I got too tall. I went to the World Finals when I was 15 in Italy.
Yeah.
And came 4th overall in the World Championships. So that was probably my highlight of my karting career.
Brilliant.
And then the following year was my last year in karts, and I also qualified to go over there, but it was my first year in Polo Cup.
Yeah.
And the Polo Cup series, they had the rookie championship winner got a drive overseas in the European Polo Cup Championship.
Yes.
So, and the race at Hockenheim was on the exact same weekend as the world final in go-karts. So Germany and Italy, and I thought, well, how can I do both of them at the same time? You know, not that far away. But I chose the polos because obviously that was where my future was going. So then we moved into polos. That was my first year in Polo Cup, and obviously racing in Hockenheim.
How did the Hockenheim race go?
Racing in the DTM was obviously the same weekend as the DTM, and Formula 3 was a serious weekend. But I think, you know, it's hard because you go over there, it's a new car, a new track that you got to learn. You got one practice session and then qualifying in a race. So it was quite tough. I mean, I qualified, I think, 18th out of 30. So it was right then I ended up the race in 11th. So, you know, I think a few more practice sessions, a bit more experience, and I think I would have been there.
Yeah, but it's a damn impressive debut as well, especially on a circuit you don't know.
Serious
Car
track
you're driving
right
on the wrong side of the steering wheel.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how
hand
these
against
people
the
do
door.
it. Yeah, exactly. Hello, I'm
Yeah.
looking for the gear stick. It's on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you came back.
Yeah, then we came back.
And did VW Polo Cup again.
Polo Cup. I did 3 years in Polo Cup. I came 10th in my rookie year against all the old men. And
Yes, because then they changed the rules.
Yeah, they changed the rules.
So you're up
obviously.
against the Ian Peppers of the world and the Nathans.
Yeah, exactly, all of them. Yeah.
And Robert.
Robert Briggs.
Briggs.
Yeah. So I think it was quite tough against those guys. But you know,
Very
you learn a lot.
competitive.
I think I would never take that back.
Did they
against-
punch you off the
Yeah,
track?
for sure.
They are nasty, those.
No,
older
but you know
guys,
what? You got to do it, and it's not the same these days. These days, the kids in karting are coming to polos and setting the storm alight.
Well, it's incredible. I mean, you're 14, 15-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
That
I
are
mean,
coming
it's,
through there
you
as
know.
well. So carry on. So,
So then-
another 2 years at Polo.
2 years in Polo Cup. I came second in my second year, second in championship, and then again second in my last year in Polo Cup. So
All right. Who
twice,
beat you?
Jared Mortimer in the first year, and
Yeah.
Matthew Hodges and I were tie, and then Matthew Hodges beat me in the second year.
Okay. Yeah.
So and then obviously after that I got with the link with Volkswagen, we moved up to production cars, and they gave me a Golf 5 GTI.
Cool. Let's stop there.
Cool.
Okay, so we're progressing. Gee whiz, I tell you, it goes very quickly. So Polo Cup, of course, we finished over there, second, and then eventually moving up into production cars, which is, you know, in my opinion, the premium class of circuit racing in South Africa. In studio with me is Gennaro Bonafede, who races in Bridgestone production cars. We're going to find out all about that and how things have been going since he's progressed from VW Cup. Stay with us.
Who the is?
Today in studio guest on Who the is Gennaro Bonafede, who comes from a bloodline of motor racing. Started with his grandfather, and then of course into his father, who is, as you mentioned, 10 times South African rally champion, together with Serge Damso, of course, with Toyota.
Yeah.
The whole way through.
Yeah, 100%. I think they started off in Ford back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they went to Toyota, and ever since then, I think 20 odd years with Toyota. So it's quite a quite a mean feat.
It's a massive accomplishment. I mean, your house must be just surrounded with trophies and
you have no
pictures
idea.
and
You have no idea.
all
There's
of those kind of things.
My dad had his old collection. We gave a lot away to our school.
Yeah.
Because I mean, literally, you know. And now I'm trying to start my own little section, but it's nowhere near.
Well, you're still young. You're still young,
sure.
Gennaro. Okay, so now you move up into the big league of production cars.
Yeah.
Where now all of a sudden you come across some people that you've raced again before.
Yeah. Well, a couple, not really. I mean, obviously for me it was quite daunting coming up as I think I was 18 back in the day, coming up to race against Gary, Graham, and all the real racing drivers,
The real pros.
the real pros, you know. And especially with Gary, he's been overseas and he's raced all. So for me, it was quite intimidating to go out there and say, okay, well, I'm here. I feel like a little, you know, like I'm small, a big fish in a small. I went from a big fish in a small pond to a little swimming oak in the ocean.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that just so exciting?
That's exactly,
because I mean, that's how you measure yourself.
Exactly, you know, and that's why I think for me, that was the best decision ever.
And how did you? I mean, you got in together with VW.
Yes.
And I mean, it's a massively competitive series, the Bridgestone production cars.
No, for sure. So
As
my
you
first race was obviously at Kailami, and I had a brand new car from Volkswagen prepared by Graham.
Yeah.
And I went out and won. I won the feature race in the last race. So that for me was quite a, you know, up in the air about that. So that was quite. I think from there, and then it just progressed.
Yeah.
You know, and you learn more about the car, and it's jumping from a Polo into a Golf is quite serious.
Well, it is. I mean, also, the way that also you tune these things up and get them. What was the one thing? You know, you say yes, you're a little bit intimidated, but I mean, you've got to sort of have respect. But on the other side, you're also there on merit So people also have to respect you. I mean, that's quite. You got to rub shoulders with the guys, but not necessarily get on with them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was the big thing, is that you come into here as a youngster with a lot of excitement and whatever, and then you got to go against the old guard. And yet they've done so much racing before, and they say, well, how must I respect this little light who's just come in? And I'm also like, well, hey, what about me? So it was I never really gave an inch, I must be honest. I tried to stamp my authority as soon as I got into the class, obviously not trying to be too aggressive or anything, but just not be, just abused.
I don't want to sit there and go on about the competition between people in terms of drivers, but in terms of personalities, I want to talk about stuff that's on the track.
Yeah.
Are there drivers, whether or not they're in the Class A or the Class T guys, that you sit there and I wouldn't say be fearful of them, but you sit there and say, oh geez, this guy's a bit of a loose cannon, I better make sure that I'm not in their way.
For sure, there's a few of them. I won't mention any names, but there are a few, and I'm sure people say the same about me. But you sometimes you go on the track and you think, okay, I better watch out, because I know about this person, and yes, it's different from off track and on track. But some people, when they put their helmets on, bit of red mist, just
they don't think too much.
Yeah,
because tin top racing.
Yeah.
Which that just the local term. I think it's the derogatory term. Saloon car racing.
Yeah.
Is a very fine art, because yes, you guys hit each other's mirrors, etc., etc. But there is also that professional line where you've got to allow somebody that amount of space, so that you both have a chance to get through it. And then there's the other cowboy who just sits and says, well, no, I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
When you guys have drivers briefings, is this not explained to you? Or is it just goes in one ear out the other?
Exactly that. I think it just comes straight over the wing mirror and it's gone. So I think a lot of guys, like I know for a fact that I can race with a few of the guys, Gary especially, where we won't give an inch or take an inch, but it'll be rough. But I think that's you give each other space, but not enough to let the guy just pass.
Ah, okay. Anton Vandenberg sends in an interesting post here. I think it comes from Facebook. He says, production cars. Ask Gennaro what the difference is between a standard Golf 6 GTI and the one he races. Shouldn't real production cars not make a return? Okay, well, let's answer the first one first.
Yeah.
Golf 6 GTI that you're going to VW and you buy, compared to what you race.
Okay, well, basically,
how different is it?
Oh no, it's a world apart. The power, first of all, talk about the engine. We've got a different turbocharger on there. We've got all the bells and whistles, but the actual base motor has to stay the same.
Yes.
So your normal Golf GTI has, I think, 155, 160 kilowatts. That's on the flywheel. And now on the race car, I'm not thinking to give too much away, but we've got a lot over 200. A lot
kilowatts.
Over 200 kilowatts. So you can imagine the power is just silly. And obviously there's an LS diff in the gearbox. We've got the whole chassis lightened with a proper roll cage for stability. We've got full Öhlins shocks in there, fully adjustable shocks. And obviously the whole interior is stripped out with the carbon fiber dashboard, carbon fiber everywhere, switches, panels. I don't have any indicators. I don't have any lights, switches. I've got a few buttons that I flick and push.
Okay. And it's lightweight.
Oh, no,
it's a serious power. Now, this leads to a very interesting question from Anton. He says, why don't we have normal, real production cars? Basically what you get off the floor, having a race.
Yeah.
But I think that's more on your Polo Cup kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think production cars started off like that, where it was basically, okay, go and buy your car, strip it out, put a roll cage in, some semi-slicks, and
go
an exhaust
racing.
And go racing. And I think things have come so far since then. These race cars now, like it's a touring car. My Golf is an absolute touring car. You put slicks in there, a sequential gearbox, a bit of wing, aerodynamics, and it's full spec touring cars.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, it's tough to. It's a big debate, and at the moment, it's been a serious debate amongst everybody because of it.
I know. Yeah. Well, Anton, you bring up a very good point, because I'm gonna throw this here, and I know it for a fact. The cost now of running a car in what they call production cars, something like what you drive in Golf 6, it's getting ridiculously expensive. It is getting stupidly expensive. So the entry now for people who are, let's say, racing VW Cup, Polo Cup, now if they want to step up to production cars, it's a massive increase. Surely something needs to be done to sit there and try and curb the costs.
No, for sure. That's the thing. If I look when I started with Ferrota and with the Golf, is that, you could go polos, you need a little bit more budget, then you can go into a Golf. Whereas now I look from Polo Cup to production cars, even Class T. We're not even talking about Class A. Class A from a step up from Class T is a major jump. But now you want to go from a Golf, it's serious. You need more than double the budget, basically, to run professional. To run a full season where you need, all the things that you need, not just to be skimp on a few things. So it's something needs to be done. I don't know. It's motorsport in this country is there's a few bumps and potholes in the road.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people trying to go in the right direction,
Which is always good.
Which is
Everyone wants circuit racing to survive and carrying on. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the 2012 season so far. How many races have you guys had?
We've had 5 races now, and start off the season wasn't very good. We've had a bit of bad luck, a bit of bad reliability in the car.
Yeah.
Just random things like a boost pipe coming off when you're leading the race, and it's been a bit disappointing. So I'm lying, I think, 5th in the championship now, which is quite shocking. But these things happen. Last weekend we raced in the Durban race, Top Gear Festival, and I won there overall. So I think now the monkey's off my back. The car feels good. Vic Maharaj and them have done a great job with the car. So hopefully now we can.
So now is Vic preparing the car now?
Yeah, Vic.
So you moved away from Graham?
Yeah.
Because otherwise Graham's going to make his car faster than yours.
No.
And I say that in light-hearted, Graham. Don't get upset.
Yeah.
Because that must be hell of a difficult. If you teammates with somebody and your tuner is basically your teammate, come on. Common sense is, Anyway, so you with the Maharaj man?
Yeah, Maharaj Magic.
Yeah.
And I think he's done. The guys have done a lot of work there on the Ferrota Golf. So I think things are progressing now. The car feels great. It didn't miss a beat in Durban, and then it was nice to race in the streets. that track was just.
It was great fun. Yeah, I must say.
It was just insane.
It was just crazy, but it was good fun.
Wall-to-wall racing. So I think now, things are confident. The team's happy. People are moving forward. Because there were a few questions being asked before then. Because you're doing all this preparation and getting everything involved, and then
you're not getting the results.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think now we can push forward, and there's still quite a lot of championship. I don't think I can win the championship from now on. I think Graham and Gary are too far ahead. They've had a good run so far. So, but. We'll push for different things. Push for better things.
So where are you racing next?
Racing in Pekiza in Velkom.
Yes, okay.
Beginning of August. So that's old MotoGP track. And that track is just insane.
It's a great circuit.
Yeah, that and Kailami are my 2 favorite tracks because it's a real long flowing track where you can really get into a rhythm and just do lap after lap after lap.
Yeah, and I must say, you must set some proper times around that kind of circuit. It's got some wonderful corners to go through.
Yeah, no, for sure. So there's a nice long straight, and only problem is being in Velkom, there's not many people around in the
They didn't
area.
really think about that when they decided to build it. Let's build it in Velkom. Yes, everyone will come.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
they won't.
Yeah.
Hate to say. Power figures from Anton Vandenberg. Well, Anton, hopefully you're listening, so you would have heard what Gennaro said. It's a lot more than what you get in your standard.
A lot more than what you get in the standard car.
Yeah, exactly. Put it this way, I can take on just about anything on the road,
pretty much,
including proper supercars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you're still young. You've got a long way, a long road ahead of you.
Yeah.
This kind of racing seems to suit you also because of your height as well. Once you eventually do win the production car title, then what do? Do you go up to A class, or do you try and look for something else?
I think we're even looking at that now. It's definitely a stepping stone, and obviously, budget becomes an issue with sponsors.
What will VW give you? A Passat?
No, I don't think it'll probably be hopefully with Audi, but it's the same linking brand.
There we go.
So hopefully that's the stepping stone. You never know. You never know these days with what's happening. So hopefully I'm in their plans, but I can only go out there and do my best. So obviously Class A, and then what I'm trying to do is with my degree, I've had offers to go overseas to test in America and the UK with the British touring car team in the UK. They said, come and test, maybe possibly look at a few things there. But
brilliant.
I'm in the middle of my degree, so I'm kind of limited there. So I want to get my degree finished. Then once I've got that in my back pocket, go hopefully overseas, and then
see where it takes you.
See what we can do. Maybe go and sweep some floors in a racing workshop.
You never know. Become an engineer for a Formula One team.
You never know. Hopefully just test. Come on. give me a little testy on the side.
You're going to be a bit tall for the Formula One
Yeah.
car. I hate to tell you.
Nah, look.
But if we
I
cut
think
off your
that's-
ankles,
I think I'll be okay.
we'll give you some Oscar Pistorius shoes.
Yeah, he's my friend, so I can just take his
Just
legs.
take his there, and it shall be okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that the tallest ever Formula One driver was 6'2".
No, exactly. No, I
So
know, for
6'5",
sure.
you're going to have a problem.
Single seaters was ruled out of my career when I was 13.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
I think definitely, something like even V8 supercars in Australia, that's
Oh,
serious.
brilliant. That's a stunning series
Yeah,
as well.
World touring cars. So something along those lines, you can always hope for the dreams in the future.
That's brilliant. I tell you, Gennaro, it's great to have you in the studio. Eventually, about time, and we'll definitely follow whatever you're doing.
No, for
Good luck for Pakisa and, of course, all of the remaining races of 2012.
Yeah, no,
Keep us
for
in the loop as to how it all goes.
We'll do. And thank you very much for this. I think it's good that you're having the initiative to do this for us.
No, it's
Because,
cool, man.
We're trying our best, but at the end of the day,
We're all trying our best,
Exactly.
my friend. And listen, congrats to all of your sponsors as well for staying on board, and
Yeah,
hopefully
for
they
sure.
continue for many, many years to come.
yep, let's hope so. Thank you
And
very much.
Forza Italia for tonight.
Exactly, Forza Azzurri. For
Forza
sure.
Azzurri, we're all going there.
100%.
That is Gennaro Bonafede. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter, Bonafede32. 32, that's your number.
Yeah.
Bonafede32 on Twitter. Of course, you can follow him on Facebook as well, Gennaro Bonafede. We'll have this interview up as well as a podcast a little bit later. Gennaro, have yourself a brilliant Thursday, my friend.
Cool.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
being
very
here.
much. Cool, thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Gears on bulls.co.za with Sasha Martinengo.
He's kept himself out of trouble.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.